So let's talk about how do you become recession resistant. There's 5 things that I would do, and I did do in my business. Remember, I got the gray hair. I've been through this a couple times, and I've seen it, and I've survived it. So here's what I would recommend to you. Not number 1, but one of the top 5 things. I'm gonna give you just one of the top 5, and then let's talk more if you want to hear about some of the other ideas. The thing you gotta do is you gotta get laser focused on who your core customer is. Now you're like, really? Wait, I listened this long to this video. You want to hike out in the woods to hear, you need to know who your core customer is? Stick with me. I'll explain why. First off, you might think you know your core customer, and you may have it really dialed in. But if you don't, or you're not confident, at your next 4D meeting, your next weekly meeting, your next L10, whatever you do, take some time for your leadership team and make sure you've dialed in who is your core customer. You really know who that is. Now, why do you want that dialed in? Why do you want to laser focus in it? Some of you may be thinking, well, Wade's just going to make a play here for, only work with your core customer. Not necessarily, a little bit. But listen to my 4 reasons why you should dial into your core customer. Number 1, we frame everything up inside of scaling up around 4 things: people, strategy, execution, cash. Let's talk people. You've got a sales and marketing team. They need to know where to focus during this recession. You don't want to be focusing outside your core customer. They're the ones who pay you on time, they love your services, they buy from you over and over again, and they're the people you want to sell to. Get laser focused on that. That's people, that's sales, that's marketing, focusing on that. Number 2, here's one you haven't thought of. You're going to hear the word diversification a lot over the next year. And that's because whenever recession hits, people are always talking diversification. Well, let me tell you something. Diversification is a tricky business, but you may be able to do it. But you won't be able to do it if you don't know what your core customer wants you to diversify into. The people who are going to help you diversify is your core customer. Pro tip, don't call it diversification. Call it new revenue streams. Call it additional revenue streams. Call it additional products. Call it anything but diversification. It's going to be overused, cliche, and your employees are not going to like the idea of going through a diversification process. That's strategy. That's number 2. Number 3, you got to get on top of execution. What do you do with execution? Well, you're only going to really give and help your core customers. Now, during any recession, the worst customers become even more worse. That's even the right way of saying it. They become really bad. They're people you don't want to be dealing with. You need to be able to go, you know what? I'm going to work with only my core customers, or mainly, and then I'm also going to make sure that as I work with my core customers, that if I have some problem childs, that I'm going to fire them. This is the best time to fire or increase prices on your worst clients, because trust me, they're going to get worse. Finally, the 4th thing, this is around cash. If you are out there and you're trying to figure out how you're going to survive this recession, and you're looking for ways to stay liquid and manage cash flow and all that, the best people to work with, the ones who may be willing to pay you early, or buy extra services from you, or give you terms, or sure up some terms, or people you're going to collect from on the regular, is going to be that core customer. You want them identified. So, quick review. Number 1, not the number 1 thing, but one of the 5 things you need to do to get ready for this recession, to be recession resistant, is get real on your core customer. This is real talk. Let's know who they are exactly. Let's get this well defined. Then, the 4 things you do around that is you make sure on people, sales and marketing, focus on this. Number 2, strategy. If you're going to diversify or give additional revenue streams, think about that core customer. What would they buy from you? Number 3, you need to get execution going right. Fire those bad customers that aren't core, and make sure you focus all your execution on the core customers who are going to pay you and pay on time. And then finally, cash flow. Your core customers are your best place to go when you have cash flow needs. If you need extra payments, liquidity, sometimes core customers who love you will pay you up front during recession because they need you as much as you need them. So those are my 4 things for one of my top 5. I'd love to share with you the other ideas that I have. I'm obviously a little out of breath. I've been on a hike here, but I couldn't wait till I got back to my studio to shoot this video. And so here's what I want you to do. Contact me. If you're a customer already, you're a core customer, I'd be more than happy to share all 5 with you and do a workshop. If you're not a customer, if you're a prospect, or you're someone who knows me, or you want this information, but you don't necessarily want to work with Red Wagon on a full-time basis, let's do a workshop around this idea. I promise you it'll be worth every penny, and if you get the whole 5 ideas implemented that I can share with you and help you workshop them, you're going to be recession resistant. Not proof, no one's proof, but you will be recession resistant. I can't wait to chat with you more. I hope you take me up on the offer to talk about all 5 of these ideas and workshop them. Have a great day and be recession resistant.